A little WNBA action. We did see some sharp action on 621 Atlanta at -8.5, and also 628 Seattle at -2. So that's Atlanta and Seattle in WNBA action. Some sharp sides in Major League Baseball. Start off with 955 Toronto, good to -110. 974 the Angels, down to +155. 978 White Sox, down to +120. And 980 Houston, -140. Three totals for you: 955 over 8.5 up to -130, and then again over 9 at even money, Toronto Cleveland. So over 8.5 and over 9 on Toronto Cleveland. 967 the Athletics and Detroit, also over 7 up to -130, and Philly Houston also over up to -130 at 7. So those key number of sevens will lay up to -130 rather than going over 7.5, even at even money or -105. So over Athletics, over Phillies, over Toronto, 3 overs, and 2 dogs, 2 favorites so far. Little early, but already got some baseball and WNBA action for you. And I'll give you one, my man. You guys are awesome. Let me give you a free. This is a 4% play. So 1% of bankroll. This is how confident I feel on these NBA and NHL props. I don't think subscribers will get pissed. I gave them a handful and more are coming, that's for sure. But let's go with Thomas Sorber. Thomas Sorber, Sorber. We're going to go with under 18.5. Under 18.5. I laid -150, 155 to go under. Good up to -180. In fact, I think this is one of those spots where 2 out of 3 times we cashed that ticket. So the true line should be up about -200. And we only have to lay about 155. At least that's what I sent it out to subscribers. Not sure what that price is right now, because as I said, when these come out and we fire, we're going to move the market with these draft props, just like season win totals. There's no time to waste there. So let's go with Thomas Sorber over 18.5. Good to -180. You should be good with that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure what the number's at, but there's another NBA prop. There's another NHL prop. The package is up at WagerTalk. All 3 plays so far, all 4% plays, and should be getting some more over the next 24 hours. And yeah, the rest is just going to be baseball and WNBA today. The $5 play will be up within the next 30 minutes. I got a WNBA that's really strong, and then a baseball that I love. So trying to juggle which one to use for the bonus play, because I know I hit last week's and I think the week before. So we're coming off back-to-back $5 winners, and I want to give you a nice 4% winner for today as well.
We can go all around the world here. I've got some leans here. These just barely missed the card. We're looking at the Guardians under 4.5 on their team total. Lauer's pitcher of the Blue Jays. He's only given up over 2 runs in 1 start this season, 2.29 ERA. Toronto 11th best bullpen, and the Guardians have gone under in 8 straight games. They're only averaging 3.7 runs at home. The Chicago Sky over 80.5 team total. We crushed this team total when it was at 70.5. The books are not going to let that happen again, but they're playing the Sparks, worst defensive team last 4 games. Sky are getting better on offense. They're starting to gel a little bit, 93 and 86 points the last 2 games. So we'll take a look at the Sky going over their team total. And then Carmine has a good soccer play at Bayern, and I looked up how to pronounce this name on YouTube, and I got 3 different pronunciations. So you guys tell me. I believe it's Benfica. He likes the over 3 in regulation. Benfica needs a strong showing to get some points out of the group stage, and Bayern scored 10 and 2 goals in their first 2 games. So those are your free plays for all around the world.
Yeah, I apologize that, first of all, for some reason my computer screen is freezing, so I can't pull up everything I want to pull up and look at it, but I'll speak from the top of my head. I did hear earlier that Gianni says the group is on the Seattle Storm, and I can understand why. I bet them the past couple games, like you said, they've been winning, what did you say, 5 out of 6 games, something like that, and they've been scoring really well. First of all, I thought it was interesting that the number opened up -1 for as well as Seattle's been playing. And for the Fever, not so much. I mean, they're now below 500. I think they sit at 6 and 7. And in their past couple games, they've been having strong starts. I think they've won and covered 4 of their last 5 first halves, and just couldn't hold the lead down the stretch. Just gave it up and lost the games. For the Storm, they've been a little bit of a different team. They've been slow starters, a really good second half team. So with the situation, like we said, Storm have won a few in a row, playing really well. Coming off of a big statement win versus the number 2 Liberty, I think it sets up for a little bit more of a letdown spot for Seattle. As far as the Fever, like I mentioned, they're coming off back-to-back losses below 500. I think they come out really motivated and focused to get back on track and get to 500. So they've already been playing well in the first half. I think they throw the first punch. And honestly, I don't think they look back. So for the show purposes, I'll go Fever first half. I don't think you need the points. I think you can go – best number I see actually right now is plus 132 for the first half on Indiana.
Sure. National TV tonight on the MLB Network. Padres and Nats. Looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen right now, I'm seeing San Diego minus 160, minus 165. If you don't shop around, it's minus 170. That's why we always want to shop around for the best of the number. Take back on the Nats in the plus 145 range. Total 8.5, a little bit of juice to the over. Again, national TV tonight on the MLB Network. And this was as one-sided as a one-sided series gets last year. The Padres faced the Nats 6 times. They won all 6 games, and they averaged more than 7 runs per game while doing so. The 3 games here at Petco, 7-6, 9-7, 8-5 a year ago. Last night's game at Petco, 10-6. So every game between these two teams on this field since the start of last year, the losing team has scored at least 5 runs, and every game has gone over the total by at least 5.5 runs. 3 7.5s last year and 8.5 last night. Washington's an interesting team to talk about right now. They had an 11-game losing streak right here in June, but they're 3-2 in their last 5, including a win in LA against the Dodgers and last night's win here in San Diego. So you go, Washington 3-13 their last 16 games. They're ice cold. Well, no, they're not. They're 3-2 in their last 5. I'll call that good current form, not an extended skid. And of course, yesterday, 15 hits for the Nats, and they snapped that skid against the Padres that had dated back to 2023. Now, Washington has been okay off a win this year. They've been okay at stringing together wins, 14-18 off a W, 440 ball off a win, 420 ball off a loss. Not a team we can't back off a win like Miami or the White Sox, and all their high leverage relief arms got last night off. Worth noting, there were 5 dingers at Petco last night, the ball carrying a little bit. The weather expected to shift slightly. The wind was blown out to right last night. It's going to be more this way towards first base today, for whatever it's worth. That being said, the Nats did lose their catcher, Keibert Ruiz, in the 4th inning last night. He got hit by a foul ball in the dugout. That's not always a great thing. Trevor Williams is not a starter that I trust. And each of his last 3 starts have been solid. That being said, who did he face the last 3 starts? The Rockies, the Marlins, the Rangers, all versus weak lineups. Every time Williams has faced a decent lineup, just about every time he faced a decent lineup, he's been lit up. And Padres offense, they've scored 5 or more 4 times their last 5 games. They've scored 5 or more 6 of their last 8 at home. And let's not forget, when it comes to bullpens for Washington, it's certainly not a strong pen full season, and that bullpen has been used extensively over the last 2 games. I don't know that I trust Ryan Berger all that much either. He pitched last Thursday, 2 4 2/3 against the Dodgers, gave up 3 hits and just a walk in that contest. But the length isn't there for this young hurler. Last night, they used their bullpen extensively. Kolek only lasted 4.1. And I'm not convinced that Berger's a guy that's going to eat up 6-7 innings tonight. So there will be a fair bit of San Diego bullpen this evening. So where does that leave us? Well, I think you've guessed it already. I'm looking at overs. Padres team total over 4.5, minus 110. Full game over 8.5 for the 2 teams. And I would split my wager between those 2. I think San Diego's going to get theirs, and I think the full game is going to get theirs. So Padres team total over, Padres Nationals full game over. That's what I like on Tuesday night in this national TV broadcast on the MLB Network.
Season win total is 7.5. I'll go to you first, Dan. To me, this is like pretty much where the number should be. But I actually have a strong opinion on this one. This might make an unofficial bet. What's your take on this one?
Wow, we both have strong takes. After being lukewarm at best on most of these teams that we've previewed, I have a really strong feeling about the Atlanta Falcons heading into the year. I mean, the one thing we can say about the Falcons, Andy, is this is a team that every year wins like 7 or 8 games, despite the fact that they're not that good. Like every single year, it's like set it and forget it. You know, you're at least getting 7 wins. So that's why we're seeing 7.5, but there actually are 8.5s out there in the marketplace as well. So if you like that over at 7.5, that's the one that you want to grab. Raheem Morris in his first year last year, they finally get 8 after winning 7 in 3 straight years when their quarterbacks, Andy, were the ghost of Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, and Desmond Ridder. Somehow this team still was able to amass 7 wins in those. And then they finally, in the jump up one last year, excuse me. I mean, the thing is, Andy, is what do we get out of Michael Penix Jr., right? He's got the keys to the castle. They screwed up this Kirk Cousins situation like no other. And now it's, what do we have in this guy? For Penix, if he can just manage the games, not throw crazy turnovers like a Desmond Ridder or even like a Kirk Cousins when after he set all those records and came back down to earth crashing down, this team is so talented. All he has to do is facilitate for the studs that are on this offense, for the amazing running back that you have in Bijan Robinson. And in my opinion, Andy, on paper, sure, you see that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the favorite to win this division. I don't know if they are the prohibitive favorite in my eyes, because I think actually you're going to see the Buccaneers start to come back down to the pack here. You're looking at an Atlanta Falcons team that is top 5 in the easiest schedule as we head on into the year. So I just think there's too much talent on this squad. Penix just has to manage games and not cost them games, and they're going to be right around this number. So 2 bets that I have actually made, Andy. I kind of went away. I like the over. I like the over 7.5. 8.5 starts getting a little bit dicey, but I like this team enough that before the season starts, I want to get them to make the playoffs. I want to get them to win the division. So 2 bets that I've actually made. I think the better way to attack this team, if you're bullish on them like I am heading into the year, Atlanta Falcons to make the playoffs, it's plus 155. It's a hell of a lot better than sweating a season win total, and you're getting plus money on it. And I think that they make the playoffs via winning the division. So give me them to win the division at plus 250. That's the way that I bet the Falcons heading into the year. I'm bullish on this team. I'm going to be like in player props with this team early on in the season. So give me the Atlanta Falcons over, yes, but give me to make the playoffs plus 155, win the division at plus 250. You have a strong take as well. Do we finally agree, or are you bearish where I'm bullish here, Andy? What do you think?
I'm with you 100%.
We agree.
I'm with you 100%.
Stop the presses.
Okay, yeah, let's go through some of their offseason. Well, actually, I'm going to go to this. PFF ranks the Falcons with the 16th best roster, finishing last year. They had them ranked as one of the best offensive lines and one of the worst defensive lines. So look at some of the moves they made. They went out and they got Leonard Floyd. They went out and they got Morgan Fox. They re-signed Hughes at cornerback. They added some other defensive pieces that aren't going to be huge, starters, but they're going to provide depth. That was their biggest weakness. And here's the other thing with this 7.5. They're basically starting off 3-0. The Saints are going to be probably the worst team. At worst, they're going to split with Carolina, although I can't wait to talk Carolina Panthers. I actually have a little bit of high hopes. I think there's 3 wins just right there. Right there. Now you look at the rest of their games. They start with Bucks, Vikings. Are the Vikings going to be good with the I don't know. The Panthers and the Commanders, so maybe they get 2-2 there. The bye week gets a little tough with the Bills, 49ers. We've gone over what are we expecting from them. Dolphins, Patriots, maybe. Colts, I don't think the Colts are very good. Then, listen to this stretch. Panthers, Saints, Jets. That could be a really nice 3-game win streak. Then they get the Seahawks. We don't know about them. Bucks, and then they finish with Cardinals, Rams, Saints. I love this over. I haven't pegged for 9 wins as long as Penix can stay healthy and manage it. This is one of my favorite plays that you and I have done so far. It's the Falcons over this number. Absolutely.
Wow.
It's a little juicy at 7.5. I would take it if it moves up to 8.5, a little bit smaller, but I'm with you, Dan. 7.5 is way, way too low for this one. This is my most confident play of the teams you've broken down so far. So
I like it. We finally agree, Andy. So Sean points out both agree, both like the Falcons, so the Falcons are going to win 2 games. So I'll outline that bitch. Give me the over 2 wins. That's for sure, Andy. But yeah, I like that we're seeing the same way, and also with us feeling strong. This is something that you and I will be tracking all year long. Hey, folks, comment below what other teams do you want us to break down. Comment below what do you think about the Falcons heading into the year, and make those comments after the show as opposed to the live chat there. And while you're down there, hit that like button and subscribe. But the Atlanta Falcons over, and I like those plus money plays to get them in the playoffs and to win the division.